attention, your soldiers, hot thugs, the mustache. Me drinking me broke to my stuff right with blue all the way back.
Underground. We were just listening to a slowed down, reverbed version of Thuggish, Ruggish Bone by Bone Thugs and Harmony. Hopefully the DMCA won't get me for that one. Something chopped and screwed. The DMCA doesn't know chopped and screwed. I think we're good. But no, we're doing a special UK stream. Not a lot of people here at the moment. That's understandable because they were probably not expecting me to stream. I've been pretty busy during the week, but I got a... Oh my God. I got a special reprieve here. I got an extra couple hours, so I'm going to go ahead and use it to do a quick stream with all the big news out of the UK riots. Thought I'd cover it. Mostly peaceful riots, right? Yeah, isn't that funny? Isn't that how it always goes, right? When the right wing do it, they usually are way more violent, but the narrative is always, oh, peaceful, oh, they're tourists, oh, innocent. So funny to see the Nigel Farage's out here bitching about double standards. When, you know, I was bitching about double standards, but I was talking about how they were being lax. They were pulling back. Nigel Farage over here, oh, they're beating us up. I can't believe they're treating us this way. It's like, bitch, why don't you try doing an anti-war protest, you fucking coward? Then you'll see the police really bust out their fucking hippie bashers. There's, you know, it's at the same time, it's scary to see the left cheer on a police state. So we got a few things to cover here with the UK riots. Let's go ahead and just jump right in with the right-wing reaction here, trying to justify this. You know, the kid was born in the UK, wasn't an immigrant, wasn't a migrant. Lies spread on social media by the likes of Andrew Tate and fucking Elon Muskie. Welcome back, Carl Toes, Sovereign Dari, number one in the chat, Sovereign Dari. So let's just jump into it. Just a couple videos here. It's all UK riot related, folks. That's what we're doing today. UK riot shit. So strap in. That's what we're covering. We'll get some live coverage going too. I'm gonna try to find a live stream to have up in the top left corner. So that's what I'm gonna do right now while we listen to Mr. Sexy over here with his fucking radio inflection. How do you have to train yourself to speak the way that he speaks? Him and the other co-host, they have this really weird hypnotic way of speaking. Is this the way that Marxists need to speak now to get the attention of the people, like fucking Rasputin, dude? Is this how Rasputin did it? Fucking commies, man. You got to watch out for them.
Britain is subject to two-tier policing. That's the allegation currently obsessing Britain's right-wingers. The suggestion is that police come down hard on far-right protesters, but are too soft on left-wingers or people from
the cops bust out the billy clubs and the fucking tear gas and the horses and the intimidation and the curfew right at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 6 o'clock, right? They cut it off and everyone in the streets getting arrested. They do that if you protest for, you know, more socialism, more rights, more liberty. You know what I mean? It's so fucking crazy to me. You know, that we're seeing this kind of slow ramp up with the cops over here. Let me tell you, if these people were chanting "Free Palestine," every fucking cop in the, like I said before, I was watching my stream. I'm sorry, I was watching it. Just to review my mic volume, mainly to make sure my mic volume isn't too annoying. And yeah, I was talking about how the fucking cops coming up from the goddamn dead, you know what I mean, to fucking crack some hippie heads. They can't wait to crack hippie heads. But when it comes to these right-wingers, all of a sudden, you know, oh, double stand. It's so tiring. It's so tiring, you know. The right wing, even during January 6th, they didn't really get that full Occupy Wall Street treatment. Maybe at the very end when they were being flushed out. But after Ashley Babbitt was shot, all the steam went right out of that fucking, the whole momentum of it. Oh, wait, they're shooting at us. Oh, wait a minute.
Minorities.
All right, sorry.
And that's a line that's been pushed on the likes of GB News and the Murdoch-owned Talk TV. They treat white working class rioters differently to ethnic rioters, yelled Kevin O'Sullivan on Talk TV on Tuesday. Ethnic rioters, a very questionable phrase. A few hours later, Talk TV uploaded a video titled "Accusations of Two-Tier Policing Will Continue." Now, I always think that writing in the third person is just this really lazy way of doing journalism, right? It means you can make a claim without having to actually justify it, right? Oh, some people might say there's two-tier policing. Mm-hmm. I don't have to justify it because I'm just telling you what other people are saying.
So the some people say thing is new to you guys, huh? I guess this comes along, these techniques come along with the MAGA template. But the some people say has been a mainstay in American politics for fucking, seems like a decade, dude. Seems like a decade. The some people say fucking shit has been slinging around. You know what I mean? This is all new to UK politics, huh? It's interesting. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see Nigel Farage just asking questions. Some people say, let me tell you something. You got to stop this, nip this in the bud, do whatever you can, nip it in the bud. Kiddo's doing well. He's hanging out with mom right now. They're off on a little retreat to do a fun little play date. So that's fun. Daddy gets a little time off.
And it does seem like the two-tier policing claim is hard to back up. For a start, the police haven't seemed overwhelmingly effective at clamping down on the far right, which is why the rioters have been able to terrorize people for over a week.
It's hilarious.
Secondly, it's difficult to make any comparison as to how disorder is being policed when no one on the left has hurled missiles at places of worship or attempted to burn down hotels full of people.
It's absurd.
Right? If the policing looks different at one demonstration and another, maybe it's because one of them is burning down hotels and throwing bricks at mosques.
Libraries. I mean, even during the height of BLM, was there a single library? Honestly. It's outrageous. A library? You're not even going to try to steal some clothes? Like, the lefties will break down the fucking Apple store. We're like, yeah, we're getting this Apple, bitch. We're getting this iPad, bitch. We're not busting down the door of a library. Oh, yeah, we're getting this rare edition, bitch. They wouldn't let me have a library card, bitch. It's insane. It seems to me exclusively right wing, the targeting of libraries. Yeah, fuck books.
Anyway, the right-wing meme continues this two-tier policing idea, and it's had some high-profile support, including from Tory leadership candidate Robert Jenrick.
So let's talk about policing, because
Yeah,
you yourself have tweeted about two-tier policing. As far as I could see, most recently on the 10th of March. Does that phrase, two-tier policing, have any application in the last 8 or 9 days?
Well, I have been very critical of the police in the past, particularly around the attitude of some police forces to the protests that we saw since October the 7th. You know, I thought it was quite wrong that somebody could shout
what about the
Allah
last 8 or 9
Akbar
days?
on the streets of London and not be immediately arrested, or project genocidal chants onto Big Ben and that person not be immediately arrested.
This guy's talking about words, right? This guy's talking about words. Someone shout, yeah, I don't like people shouting Allah Akbar just as much as I don't like people shouting Jesus is God, Jesus is, you know, Lord. Oh my God. Get to the fucking gym. But you know what I mean? It's really annoying when religious zealots shout their religious nonsense, you know, when you're trying to enjoy your day. So yeah, I don't like any of it. And he's like, what, chanting against Big Ben? What?
Onto Big Ben,
what?
And that immediately arrested, or project genocidal chants.
Wow, okay, or project an image against the surface of Big Ben. Yeah, that's the same thing as, I don't know, you know, concussing an officer because he threw a metal pipe at his head. Same shit. Really? Does this work on people still? This both sidesism, knee-jerk both sidesism? It's not even very clever. You know, you don't even have to scratch the surface. It's right there, surface-level hypocrisy and absurdity. These things are not the same. Projecting an image against Big Ben and chanting some words? They should have been arrested on sight. Okay, so what about the people that are bashing cop heads? And look at these images in the bottom left over here. Look at this shit. Look, yeah, come on, pig, let's go, pig, let's go. Lefties, we do not. When we see somebody in our midst doing that shit with the cops, we self-police. Okay, I mean, lefties have learned a lot of lessons over the fucking decades of oppression from fucking cops in the police state. Right? We see somebody doing that shit like the guy in white in the bottom left there. Come on, let's go, pig. Yeah, yeah. We're like, whoa, dude, what are you doing, man? No, we de-escalate and we police. I mean, you know, not 100% of the time, but I would say, you know, I would say four out of 5 times when you're seeing somebody trying to agitate with the police in a lefty protest, you will see other lefties being like, I don't know, man, that's counterproductive. Let's try to avoid direct conflict with the cops. Let's try not to piss them off anymore, right? They're getting ready to bull charge us. Can you not, like, piss them off any further? You know, the difference is really quite stark. Seeing these right-wingers, you know, wanting to tussle, wanting to fist fight with the cops. And how... Because when that happens in the lefty protest, what they do is the line gets close. They find the agitators, the ones making the most noise, making, you know, being the kind of the leaders or the ones that are most aggressive. They get close and then they yank them into the line and arrest them. And they do that over and over and over again, right? As they kettle and surround. It's like you can slow the protest. You can completely dissipate the protest quite quickly when you're pulling out these high energy individuals and then showing the rest of the people there that, you know, your fate is handcuffs and a night in jail. So it's crazy to me to see these, you know, energetic guys tossing it up, you know, talking shit like this and not getting yanked in and put down. But of course we are, I need to remember that we're talking about UK police, not US police. And it's not quite fair to do a one-to-one comparison sometimes, but still it seems like these guys are getting away with quite a bit.
Onto Big Ben and that person not be immediately arrested. That attitude is wrong,
you know,
and I'll always call out the
look
police.
At homie down
I think
there.
at the moment,
Let's go.
the police are doing their very
Piggy.
best.
Let's go,
you know, we
Piggy
should
Pie.
thank our brave police officers. We should support their efforts.
Yeah,
they need now to be arresting the rioters.
Look at all these young,
I want those individuals who've committed these serious crimes to be sent to jail for the longest possible term. I don't think at this moment politicians should be doing anything to make the lives and jobs of our police officers any more difficult than they already are.
That was so disingenuous, right? He tries to end it by saying, look, he's a candidate for Tory leader, by the way. So he's sort of saying, I'm a prime ministerial person. I'm a serious politician. Obviously, there are riots going on, so we should let the police get on with their job.
Yeah, now they're getting a little taste of it now. Keir's letting the fucking the dogs loose, literally. Yeah, they're getting a taste of it now. The dogs and shit though, like, you know, I don't like any of this. I don't want any of this. It's not exactly. I don't exactly want a big fucking thuggish, ruggish group fucking shit up with impunity either. Yeah, here come the fucking dogs. Yep. Oh shit. Yep. Oh, he's kicking the fucking dog. He's kicking the fucking dog. Oh man, let me tell you, you're in bad shape. You let one of these fucking dogs get a hold of you, man. Yep, arrest. You got to arrest him. That's how it works for lefties. Oh, yep, he's got a dog on his fucking ankle. Yep. Yep. Well, welcome to Arrestville, buddy. We'll worry about your lawsuit later. That's what happens to the left. Yep. Pulled away and arrested. It's interesting how it went that far, though. Yeah, the right wing's getting a taste for it now.
These rioters need to be dealt with seriously. And in the first half of his answer, saying stuff which is so inflammatory in a way which is going to stoke the far right, and which also puts the police in an incredibly sort of difficult situation, right? The idea that saying Allahu Akbar should get you immediately arrested is so racist, right? It is. Allahu Akbar means God is the greatest. Right? Yeah. This is like saying anyone on a street corner who says hallelujah should be immediately arrested.
Do you imagine those fucking old ladies handing out God is good pamphlets, right? God is good. Arrest that bitch. Fuck, tackling her. Fucking terrorist. Oh, wait, I thought you said Allah Akbar. No, I said just God is good. Oh, I'm sorry. I broke your coccyx because I thought you said Allah Akbar. Yeah, thanks. Now I'm going to die. How far should I take this hypothetical, right?
1 billion people pray every day and say Allahu Akbar. Yeah. Right? The idea that should get you arrested is so racist. And I think Robert Jenrick knows that, right? He knows that police are not going to be able to arrest someone for saying Allahu Akbar, right? That would be against every human rights law we have. Ludicrous. And if you're saying the police should do this, I'm a politician, and then sort of rioters or the far right say, well, they're saying this and the police aren't arresting them. What's that an encouragement to do? Mm-hmm. It's an encouragement to vigilante justice, right? Well, they're saying Allahu Akbar. The senior politician says they should be immediately arrested. They're not being immediately arrested. Let's take this into our own hands.
In a lefty protest, the guy in the black mask would be targeted. The guy, so the commander in the back would be telling the guys on the phalanx, okay, you see the guy in the black mask? Next time he gets close, gank him in. And then we'll do a quick arrest. Oh, here we go. Bristol, England now. It's just interesting. I mean, I don't know if UK police do things differently, but in the US, you're not allowed to be animated and up in the cop's face and talking shit and like kicking. If a cop sees you kick at a dog in the US, you've attempted to assault a police officer, immediate arrest. On the left, a single swing at a police officer is all a cop needs to fucking arrest you for months, dog. Ruin your life. Yeah, okay, there we go. So these are the charges. Yeah, okay. So this is how they do it. Yep. And look at this. The resistance. Where's the tear gas? Where's the rubber bullets? Are UK police just not used to this? What do you guys think about the Russia connection? The right-wing Russia connection. Is this really Twitter? Is this really fucking TikTok? Is this all it takes? A lie? It's well acknowledged as wasn't even a migrant. This was days ago. So I don't even know what they're riled up about. The tragedy, the 3 kids that got stabbed. I think 3. My God, the trashy chick on the left, yo. All these they're so fucking greasy, dude. They're so fucking trashy. Okay, here we go. I love how the UK police are respecting the press, allowing the cameras right in. Let's go ahead and get a little audio here. This is interesting. Something might happen here. See how loud that is for you. Okay, that's right. So they're drinking. I see the fellow in the middle drinking. So we want our country back. Okay, so it's kind of like they're trying to do a Canada convoy thing, right? It was kind of started over COVID and evolved into a pro-liberty kind of thing. Where are the cops? You got like 10 fucking cops there, dog. They're partying, they're drinking. That's really what's holding them together. I guess that's legal in the UK. Open container in the United States, that's an arrest. Man, the throwing shit. How are you throwing shit directly at cops and they are not arresting you? Is it just because there's not enough cops there? Throwing shit directly at cops. There we go. That's the backup. There's the backup. Okay. Yeah, now we're gonna see some. There we go. I'm not on anybody's side here. I hate the police state. These thugs literally have no fucking grounds to be doing what they're doing. I wish they were protesting. I wish they were doing. I kind of wish I actually know. I was about to say, I was like, I kind of wish that this kind of energy was directed towards pro-Palestine kind of thing, but this is counterproductive. If people were doing this in the name of Palestine, it's embarrassing. Like we just saw recently with the Hamas graffiti, the pro-Hamas graffiti on the imitation Liberty Bell, right? Counterproductive. Yeah. Okay. So backups here. They gotta pull some of these agitators in to arrest him. I'm shocked that it's not happening yet. What the fuck is he doing? What is Copy doing here with the fucking... This guy's wasting his fucking time. He's taking the time to pick up a bottle that had liquid in it, open the liquid, dump out the liquid, throw the bottle. I think that UK police are not used to this. I think you guys are a little under-equipped for this kind of shit. This is drunken rabble. Cracking beers. It sounds like a fucking tavern. Not a lot of them either. Either that or they've kind of thinned out. Oh, they're partying, having a good time. They have no idea. And the UK police state's even worse when it comes to social media and tracking your ass down and arresting you after the fact. All of these guys are getting recorded. All of their faces are getting recorded. And they will be getting knocks on the fucking door. Guaranteed. Look at that Chem Goblin. Why does the stream look like that? Well, I had it down here. I'm just going full, just for a little bit. But yeah, I guess I should just put it right here if I'm gonna have it out for a while. Sorry, Chem Goblin. But it's just like I want to get every juicy morsel. I want to see every juicy morsel here. Look at these skags, yo. Oi, oi, we want our country back. Oi. Step back, love, step back. You're screaming at the cops. We want our country back. He wasn't even a migrant. Oh, here we go. More with the dogs. Oh, wait, is this the same? Is this a loop? This looks like the exact same setup as before. Is this a loop? Or they just, this is how they're moving them. You got the people on the side there warning them. Yeah, you're gonna want to back the fuck up, y'all. Here we go. Yeah, okay, this is a loop. This is a loop. We've seen this before. Okay. Yeah. All right, interesting. All right. Well, that gives us an idea of what's happening right now. I'm gonna find another one.
This is an explicit call for vigilantism. Jenrick has tried to row back on the comment this afternoon. So he said or tweeted, Allahu Akbar is spoken peacefully and spiritually by millions of British Muslims in their daily lives. But the aggressive chanting below is intimidatory and threatening, and it's an offence under Section 4 and 5 of the Public Order Act. Extremists routinely abuse common expressions for their own shameful ends. All violence must end. All violence must be called out. Now let's look at the video he shared with that statement.
Oh, man.
Now, I have to say, I find groups of men with their face covered sort of going down the street a bit intimidating wherever they're chanting. If they were chanting England, 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 I'd find them a little bit intimidating.
I agree with
but the fact of saying Allahu Akbar does not make what those people are doing illegal, right? The intimidatingness has nothing to do with the chant. It has to do with the fact that there's lots of young men with their face covered sort of going down the street. So again, a completely ridiculous effort to sort of save what was sort of immediately recognizable as it's not even an Islamophobic dog whistle. That was just outright Islamophobia, which he spouted on Sky News, as I say, in a way which encourages vigilante justice by far-right racists. Someone who wasn't impressed by all of this was former Tory chair Baroness Sayeeda Warsi. She tweeted this after Jenrick's attempt to roll back his comments. So she said, "No, Robert, you do not get to go on national broadcasters and say one thing and try and pretend you said something else after. If you genuinely feel your comments on Sky News were inappropriate, offensive, incendiary, and anti-Muslim, which they were, then start by apologizing. Then you can go back to pretending you're a responsible candidate for the leadership of our party. Not prepared to let you and other colleagues get away with this gaslighting and playing these games anymore. Too much damage has already been done to our country, and it deserves better than this populist nonsense."
No, I really nonsense. I don't know what that was about. But no, I like how she's calling out, because he knows damn well the statements that he this apology, it's all part of a game. Oops, did I say that? Oops, my bad. Didn't mean to go that far. We've seen this strategy before. The apology is seen by hundreds. The inflammatory remarks are seen by millions. So it's a strategy. So I like to see this being called out. They think they're fucking clever. The fuck is this? Oh, no more Mr. Sexy. No. All right, let's see what else we got here. He's my favorite. He's so hot. I wish I could be like him. Hot and intelligent. And he says things really well. He's a good speak man. Word man. He speak well. Thousands of UK police ready as rioters warned they'll be dealt with quickly. Yeah. I mean, the right wing, it's kind of funny. Oh, I can't believe the cops do this. I can't believe the cops fight back like this. It's unbelievable. They're all over social media bitching. Like, yeah. But buckle up, Buttercup. This is all, the left understands this intrinsically.
Violence.
6,000 police have been mobilised because of fears of more riots across the country. There are reports up to 30 protests are planned for Wednesday. The Prime Minister has promised communities will be kept safe Keir Starmer said he had assurances there were adequate officers in place to cope if violence flared up. Here's our political correspondent, Damien Grammaticus.
No shit. Is that like Grammaticus? Okay.
Just over a week since these riots began.
Sir
Violence,
Grammaticus.
first in Southport, spreading to other parts of
Look
England.
at these assholes.
Now, for those who've taken part, the legal consequences are starting to be felt.
Thugs,
This morning in Liverpool, 3 men who've all pleaded guilty to violent disorder are due to be sentenced. Yesterday, police chiefs were summoned to Downing Street for the second emergency coordination meeting in 2 days. The Prime Minister says more sentences will be handed out in the coming days.
I don't use that word lightly.
400 people now have been arrested. 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online, that you are likely to be dealt with within a week, and that nobody should be involving themselves in this disorder.
Some have already appeared in court. This was 20-year-old Liam Gray, arrested in Rotherham on Sunday. He denied the charge against him. A list circulating online has suggested more than 30 locations could be targeted by rioters today. Police in London issued a warning saying, "We know about the events planned by hateful and divisive groups across the capital. They've made their intention to cause disruption and division very clear. We will not tolerate this on our streets." After the rioters targeted hotels housing asylum seekers, some groups who work with refugees have been told they are at risk. One organisation in Merseyside says it has closed its offices but will try to protect the premises today.
We will also be creating, I suppose, what I would call a peace line, for want of a better expression, so that we and the local community and the priest from the local church, which is part of our building, that we can all come together to demonstrate that we believe that we should have hope in the future rather than putting up with hate.
Disperse immediately, as force is about to be used against violent individuals.
Sir Keir Starmer last night said those who felt threatened would be kept safe, but it's a severe test for a government that's been in office for just a month. Damien Grammaticus, BBC News, Westminster.
Well, our correspondent Chichi Uzundu is outside Scotland Yard, and she explained what Met Police in London are doing to reassure communities.
Well, the Metropolitan Police, in a lengthy statement that they issued yesterday, said that they plan to use every power, every tactic and every tool at their disposal to try and keep people safe. And it's not just Londoners that they're concerned about. Some 6,000 officers, riot-trained police officers, are going to be deployed across various locations. 1,200 of them, we do believe, will be helping colleagues regionally and locally, and we do believe they'll be stationed around motorways so that they can get to some of the sites if violence does flare up. They have said that if people are concerned, they should stop and speak to a police officer, and that local communities will see a larger increase of police presence in their areas. As Damien said in his report, they say they are not tolerating anything that could cause people to feel unsafe. Their job is to keep law and order, and they plan to do so. In their statement, they say they know about the events planned by hateful and divisive groups across the capital, and they've made their intention to cause disruption and division clear, and they will not be tolerating that.
Thanks to Chichi for that. Let's speak now to Helen King, former Assistant Commissioner at the Metropolitan Police. Thank you for coming on the programme.
No problem, Lewis.
So just talk us through, with this intelligence, it seems, around 30 potential locations that could see activity today, what kind of preparations will police and police forces be undertaking right now?
Well, there'll be a huge structure by now put in place. As you say, the intelligence is really important, so there will be specialist intelligence staff gathering that together, to work out the locations, to try and get ahead of who's going to be involved so preventative action can be taken. But as well as the public order trained officers that we're seeing in TV reports all kitted up, there are also a lot of other teams at work, logistics teams, people arranging the rosters so they know who's on duty when, briefing teams.
Yo, homie's got a DayZ shirt on, dude. Yo, homie's got the DayZ, rocking the DayZ shirt. Even the introverts playing DayZ all day. You know you're playing a lot of DayZ when you bought the damn fucking shirt. Is that a DayZ? It looks like a DayZ shirt to me. But even he crawled himself out of the fucking basement to get out here. Now that's great. Front and center too. Love it.
Dispatch teams in the radio rooms, command teams to support that operation. Even people like the vehicle maintenance units will be working overtime to make sure that the public order equipped vehicles are ready and out on the road. And then we've also seen this big investigative effort.
Man,
so
they dress
people
very
getting arrested,
distinctly.
being interviewed, being kept in custody, files of evidence being prepared so they can be put before the courts really quickly.
That's how it
so
is.
this is a huge logistical operation. And the police are clearly making sure that they're as ready as they can be to respond to whatever happens tonight and in the days to come, as well as carrying out all the normal 24/7 policing that needs to be done to keep communities safe.
I think most people appreciate the resources will be stretched, of course, and this does put extra strain on everyone involved. But when you look at the level and amount of violence on the streets over the last week, is there an argument that police could have done more to stop it earlier?
I think it's very difficult to see how that could have happened. From what I've seen in the reporting, the police have got there quickly. They've acted with great courage and professionalism to keep people safe. And no one should underestimate the challenges of gathering evidence and getting people before the courts as quickly as they currently are. This will be having a knock-on effect on, of course, the levels of tiredness and resourcing in policing. There will be officers working 12-day shifts, having rest days cancelled.
Yeah, you know, the zombies during a gunfight can sometimes add a new element, but I do agree. With Vanilla DayZ, the zombies are kind of less important, but there are servers where the zombies are a true threat, and you do see players attempting to work together more instead of KOSing immediately on those servers where the zombies are a true actual threat. Project Zomboid is technically a better zombie game, but with that said, I'm not a big fan of the gameplay loop where, you know, you're stuck in this, you know, it's not procedurally generated. You're stuck in these linear towns. It only gets worse and worse and worse and worse. There's no explanation about where the zombies come from, why they come. Just more and more and more and more and more of them. I don't know. There's just something that doesn't rub me right about the vanilla Project Zomboid loop. I don't deny, though. Great game. Here we go. Some more UK stuff. Yeah. No. The gameplay loop for DayZ, while distinct, not, you know, is very different from Project Zomboid. Can get tiring in its own right. Same thing with Scum. Same thing with Miscreated. I would say Scum, though. If you haven't played Scum, I would highly recommend it. If you're a fan of the you know, the zombie stuff and the survival, the base building survival. Like if you thought DayZ was interesting, but it didn't, you know, it didn't quite click, you might want to try Scum. We lost in the middleweight gold medal match for boxing, but well done to Mr. Kiesniak of Ukraine. Ah, well, congratulations. That's some kind of Olympic thing. So good news. Good news. Let's see if we can find anything live here. Congratulations to Ukraine. Can't say that I'm taking the time to, you know, watch the Olympics. I just don't give a shit. All right, so this Tommy Robinson fella, who is a stochastic terrorist, who is, it's safe to say he's been inciting this violence from the very beginning. is now, you know, after his vacation in the Bahamas while he was tweeting and telling everybody to, you know, go fuck it up. Go fuck shit up. Is now doing interview over here with Indian News, which is kind of weird. Pakistan won 2 silvers today, so I'm just happy that we won something. Congratulations, Pakistan. Hey, hell yeah. Bringing home the silver. Hey, that's respectful. That's, you know, that ain't nothing to scoff at. Especially when you look at, you know, like, I really find the whole counting of medals to be obscene, because the United States has the money, has the resources to compete in any event it wants to compete in. That's not the same for every country. A lot of countries don't compete in a lot of events. So the whole, like, tallying up of medals, it's really just, you know, which countries have, and of course it's the countries that have the most resources that always have the most medals. I have a lot of problems with the Olympics, I gotta say. So, you know, same thing with organized sports in general, just the money, the corruption, the people that run it, right? They're just so incredibly corrupt. But it's like I was telling my wife, I want to like the Olympics. You know, I want to like countries competing, you know, just to see who's better, you know, at sports and, you know, just true human competition. I would like that, but I gotta say the multi-billionaires that run these sporting organizations, I've had enough of their fart-sniffing ways. You know what I mean? We're good about 10 meters per Olympics, 10 medals per Olympics, Kyrgyzstan. All right, there you go. All right, so let's hear what this stochastic terrorist and racist has to say about the riots that he incited. I'm sure he's got some really poignant and good excuses as to why it's not his fault. One guy beat another guy in a sport competition. Will it make our lives better? Well, Cam Goblin, no, technically it won't. But you know, I was about to sing lyrics from John Lennon's Imagine, but I'll spare you that. But listen to John Lennon's Imagine. You know, we can have a better world. Wouldn't it be nice if we weren't trying to kill each other, dominate each other, and we were just trying to one-up each other in the realm of sporting world, sporting events, the world of sports? Anyway, racist. Let's hear what he has to say, because I hate myself.
Across all communities right now on the streets of the UK. It's not our fault. We've continually called for peace, but we're not going to be silent.
Right. It's not his fault. They continually chant for peace. Right. That's what we've seen. We're seeing a lot of chants for peace over here, big time.
Why so, when you claim to be a patriot?
No, I haven't fled the UK. I'm on holiday with my children, a holiday that was planned. I never received any court documentation summoning me to court. I'm not on bail to attend court. So once
Chem Goblin, and I agree, it's weird. Well, it's hypocritical, right? Because these countries that, you know, China over here wants to literally dominate the world. The United States is happy to keep its domination. You know, it's a total joke. It's a total joke.
Again, you're being lied to. There's a process that a court has to go to if they want somebody in court. That process is not to give information to file. Okay, only 9 million people elected the government of my country. This film is in the public's interest. I'm happy that the world has seen the truth. The media lie, they deceive, and they fool the public with their narrative. And I've gone and broke their lies and exposed them in a major way. I'm proud of my work as a judge.
I don't know, man. Keir Starmer is going after characters like this, dude. He might see himself, but, you know, having to justify some of the wild things that he said. And it's, you know, if you're not sure what he said, it's the usual great replacement theory, invasion. You know, we're fighting against an invasion. You can't go to certain neighborhoods or they'll beat you up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, ignoring the reality, ignoring the statistics, ignoring the 14 years of Tory failure to process these people because the Tory government was trying to appease characters like Tony Robinson. Instead of, you know, separating themselves, you know, as a party, they courted their vote, so they couldn't process them because of the racist in their midst and the racist that they had to appease. So there's this big backlog. That's why there's a bunch of, you know, people staying in hotels instead of, you know, becoming productive tax-paying citizens, et cetera, et cetera. He's been doing the same thing Northeast racists have been doing for years. I respect Asians because they come here to work, raise their kids, right? Unlike some people. Exactly. Yeah, there's some good ones. There's some bad ones. It's racism. It's ignorance. And where they try to get you is when they start begging for tolerance. They say, how dare you not tolerate my intolerance? You know, I thought you were tolerant. You know, I thought this was a tolerant society where I'm free to hate. And it needs to be nipped in the bud. It's like, no, dog. No, you're not. No. You want to call that anti-free speech? You want to, no, keep that shit in the closet, dog. Yeah. Welcome to the tyrannical authoritarian police state against hatred, bigotry, and ignorance. Yeah. It's called How to Make Society Better. Oh, how dare you shame me? How dare you shame me? You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed. You're basing your conclusions off nonsense. You're a hammer looking for a nail. You have pre-concluded conclusions. And what it is, it's just because you're uncomfortable around black and brown people, and you can't explain why. So you're wrapping it up in this justification, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we're the victims. We're the victims. We're the victims. Needs to be called out. And I'm happy to debate, right? I think people I think Keir Starmer and others should have to debate this and make very clear. Yeah, no, there is a difference between free speech and stochastic terrorism. There is a connection between your hateful rhetoric and the violence that we're seeing. Here's proof. Here's evidence. It is not anti-free speech to be intolerant of intolerance. That's not against free speech. Here's why. So I'm perfectly happy for the intellectual debates to happen about why does fascism fascism doesn't deserve free speech? Why? Let's have the discussion. Why should fascists and stochastic terrorists be punished on social media, and et cetera, if things get too far, things like that. We should be having those conversations because this is a slippery slope. We can't just allow Keir Starmer to because this entire apparatus could very easily be pointing at the left when Keir Starmer, 5-6 years into Keir Starmer's administration, and he's like a full-blown conservative and he's not doing anything, and we got to get in the streets to push him back. This entire apparatus is going to be pointed at us. That's why we need to have checks and balances, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm talking about? We have to be careful about this, but we have to be firm. We can't be tolerating intolerance. We can't let ignorant stochastic terrorists, gish gallopers, bad actors, agenda laden oligarchs, whose agenda is control, to utilize these techniques to bend society to their wills and to their aims. We do need. It's hard though, because it's not simple. It's very complicated. It requires several layers of understanding of rhetoric and argumenting and debating and just kind of understanding this new style of thinking, because dum-dums, as we can see from the people in the streets, I think it's fair to say they're not very intelligent. They're very easily caught up in this stuff, this very advanced style of propaganda, style of manipulation. It's not like the old days where it's just like, bad people bad, but we're the good ones. No, it's a victimhood narrative. It's a media apparatus that's backing this up. It's social media, bubbles and algorithms that are self-perpetuating, et cetera, et cetera. And we got characters like Tony Robinson here, who maybe doesn't quite grasp everything. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he does. But he's utilizing these tools to spread hate to benefit himself. He's just enjoyed a sunny, still enjoying a sunny vacation. All of that is grifter money. It's good money to grift. It's good money to grift. And we should ask ourselves, is there something we can do, the government, regulation, something, where we can prevent these kind of lies to be, funded and perpetuated without stomping on people's rights and free speech? Like, is there a way to legitimize that? Like, how do we do that without a Department of Free Speech? How do we do that without a, like, how do we stop rich, racist, maybe even people from Russia, from other countries, funding characters like Tony Robinson, who use the tools of social manipulation to spread hate and ignorance? How do we punish that? Like, how do we define, okay, you are spreading hate, you are spreading lies, like, what's the criteria? Because I'm so worried about, the left is cheering this on, and I get why they would, but I'm so worried about this apparatus being pointed at the left once we start demanding more from Keir, which we should be. The left should be. He's going to the center. He's going to the right. He's running away from progressivism. He's embracing Brexit. He thinks he can do Brexit right, I believe, right? He thinks, we can manage our way out of Brexit, but we don't have to undo it. We don't have to rejoin the union. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let's hear just a little bit more from this fucking scumbag.
Journalist, and I stand for freedom of the press and freedom of the speech.
Tommy, the media says that you are lying. Is it true that Stephen...
We're told Islam is a religion of peace. It's getting pretty tiring.
Okay, I don't know why it keeps cutting around. I went to the beginning. I don't know. Maybe that's why, because this is just looping over and over and over again. So I'm sorry about that. So now he's given us his opinions on brown people.
Who's educated on Islam, on Muhammad, they know full well it's a violent fascist ideology.
Right. So he's spreading the lies that everyone who follows Islam, everyone who's a Muslim is, believes in Sharia, wants Sharia law, wants domination. Ridiculous, hateful nonsense. And I mean, you could say, if we're going to say that about Islam, we got to say that about all the religions, right? Because there's every one of these goddamn religions, the white ones, the brown ones, all the good ones, all the bad ones, they've all been used to kill and dominate and justify horrific acts. So the obvious solution is to separate religion from government completely. But what does this guy, ironically, what does this guy believe in? He wants probably Catholic Christian Sharia law. That's the only difference, because he's talking about, we're going to get Sharia law. You got to watch out. They're going to dominate our society. They're going to take over our society. And then they're going to turn our government into a, theocratic, and everyone's going to be forced to be Muslim. And meanwhile, that's, exactly what he wants. He just wants it to be Christian. Right. And, I'm sure this guy wants, every student in school to have to pray, once a day, that kind of shit, all of that.
That promotes war against non-Muslims, that promotes slavery of non-Muslims, and promotes rape of non-Muslims. Are you winding me up?
Okay, it's cutting around. Great job, Indian media. I mean, really, you guys suck. Your fucking production values suck. 8-hour stream, is it cutting around like that? Why does the archive of the 8-hour stream do that? Bounce around like that? Let's try to find a different one, a different interview with this dickhead. Let's see. Find a different video here. Ego cost riots, says Insider. Interesting. Yeah, here we go.
Far bigger than Tommy Robinson. It's about the weaponization of the judiciary against people who go against the government's narrative. Whether that be Steve Bannon, Alex Jones was fined £1 billion.
Yeah,
£1 billion.
Look, I don't really need to know everything about this Tommy Robinson guy to know exactly what direction he wants to go in. They all speak the same. It's all the same fucking template. Look, and they don't need to believe it. All you need to know is you need to know the template. You need to know how to argue the points, and then the money rolls in. The fucking ching rolls in, dog. And if you can add some emotion to it, you can make people feel it, make people believe it. The ching rolls in, dog. You do that shit on the left and you get News Underground. The ching's not rolling in on the News Underground. No ching over here, dog.
At your arrest under the Terrorism Act, the UK Met Police and groups like Hope Not Hate maintain that you were arrested under the Terrorism Act because you allegedly screened your banned documentary against the High Court orders at the demonstration. How do you assess that reasoning for that arrest, considering the Southport stabbing incident has been ruled out as any terror-related incident?
I would urge every single one of you to watch my expose of the group you just named, Hope Not Hate. I've done a covert recordings. I've already done an expose documentary on that organisation.
And this is part of the grift as well, right? Because you got to have your own set of facts. You got to have your own reality, right? So you got to pump out the 2,000 Mules. It was interesting to see Tucker Carlson immediately put out a whole documentary questioning January 6th about what really happened, all that, you know, soon after it happened. You got to have your own set of facts, and this pseudo-intellectualism, these documentaries, this kind of, you know, helps you with that framework there. Happy that Kakistan has 86 medals all time and Israel has 19. An expose is way credible. Oh, big time, yeah. I'm sure it's filled with all kinds of credible characters, you know, a nice 30-minute interview with Nigel Farage, right?
Welcome back, Ice to prove King, that they pay people to lie in the media, that they co-opt the media, that they manipulate the media, and that they use the media as a weapon against people. I've already exposed that, so I urge every one of you. When the police come out and say it's not terrorism related, let me give you one example of their lies previously in the UK. In 2016, if you Google this, Russell Square attack, a Muslim went into his mosque. And he said that he wanted to.
So this is a classic technique, of course. You know, ignore the statistics, ignore the fact that, you know, migrants, immigrants commit less crimes than people that are from the actual country. Ignore all that. Cherry pick some incident, some horrible incident where a migrant did commit a crime, and then you paint the whole community as, you know, people that agree with that. You know, and it's a classic technique. It's as old as time. Really, it really is. It goes way back, hundreds of years. Grifters like Tommy Robinson have been using this technique to otherize people, to dehumanize people, to convince people that it's older than Moses. I mean, it really does. It goes way fucking back. It really does. It is embarrassing to think that these techniques have been used to convince stupid people, ignorant people to hurt each other, or, you know, make each other's lives more miserable, so that Tommy Robinson can go sun himself in the fucking Bahamas or wherever the fuck he was. It really is. It's as old as fucking Moses. It really is.
To kill non-Muslims. Do you know what the mosque done? They prayed for him. They didn't report him to the police or security services.
Off-world.
They
exactly.
prayed for him. Yeah. Now, when he left that mosque...
Now, I mean, what would we do? What would society do to right-wingers if we were to apply the same, you know, like, oh my God, he's a right-winger, like, holy shit, like people just start leaving the restaurant because it's like, oh my God, is this guy going to have a mass shooting? Is there going to be a mass shooting? You know, just like, if right-wingers got the same kind of treatment of, you know, painting their entire community by their bunch of bad apples, right? Which there's a whole bunch of them, you know?
That day, and he went and stabbed 7 people in Russell Square while screaming.
Yeah, so they all do that.
Akbar. Okay, he done that,
wow,
and he murdered an
that,
American
huh?
tourist.
Wow.
We were told it had nothing to do with terrorism or jihad. That was clearly an act of jihad, clearly an act of terrorism, and our security services and our media lied. Could
you imagine them blowing their top, them on social media, them sitting in their truck, steaming like a little teapot? I can't believe it. The cops said they saw a MAGA sticker, so they pulled me over, and they said they had to check for illegal guns because they said they wanted to make sure I wasn't planning an assassination of the president or a mass shooting. Can you fucking believe that? I'm going to go to the gun store, and I'm going to buy more guns right now, dude. I'm going to go to the gun store and buy more guns. All right. I see where you're going, female eunuchs. Why you gotta be so mean to me, female eunuchs? Why you gotta be like that? They would lose their minds. They really would. Did you ever seen that footage of the Second Right Amendment guys strapping themselves up fully loaded and walking into a police station? I like your streams, though. Well, female eunuchs, if you're being earnest, then I like you. Thank you. I appreciate it. My shields are up, okay? If this is Star Trek, I'm always on yellow alert. If this is Star Trek, I got to watch out. There's not a lot of actually nice people like you, female eunuch. What's your distro flavor? What's your distro flavor of choice? I like mint. I like mint. I use mint when I need to use Linux.
They continue to do. They lie and they deceive us. Every time there's an act of jihad or an act of pure Islam, we're told Islam is a religion of peace. It's getting pretty tiring now. So anyone who's
Papa West,
educated on Islam, on Muhammad, they know full well
Papa
it's
West,
a violent fascist ideology that promotes war against non-Muslims, that promotes slavery of non-Muslims, and promotes rape of non-Muslims. We're fed up of the lies. Unfortunately, this could have been a mental health incident in Southport, but we don't believe them anymore.
I mean, and this is funny. So, you know, if she were to ask him, okay, so you think all Muslims, you think all brown people rape and pillage and murder, he would go, no, never. I would never say that. No, never. But unchallenged, that's what it sounds like. He's implying anyone who believes in this religion believes in these crimes. It's only a matter of time. And then if you were to corner him on that, he would say, okay. Maybe I'll agree that not all of them are violent, but they're replacing us. They're changing our culture. They're trying to enter into government and, you know, change our ways. Ignoring the fact that a democracy would never allow, an individual to do, such radical changes without the, permission of the people who were living there. It's exactly what they did to George Washington. Anyway, we're done listening to this piece of shit. I think we got enough. I think we got the. And yeah, it is stochastic terrorism. It is, they hide behind plausible deniability, and that does make it very, very difficult to prosecute, to kind of nail them to the wall and say, you are directly guilty of this. How do you punish that? How do you punish stochastic terrorism? How do you define it? That's the thing, is like, are we really going to go down that route where we have some kind of, Department of Truth, or, how do we do this? How are we going to do this? How can the government punish a stochastic terrorist? Because like Alex Jones, it took Alex Jones to rile up a group of people to harass parents of, children who are murdered. And he had to be in front of a camera and repeat those lies over and over and over again. He had to sit in front of a camera and repeat those lies over and over and over again. So it's like, I'm sure there's I guarantee you there's zero footage of Tony Robinson sitting in front of a camera and saying, get in the streets and fuck shit up and break shit and, make a big mess of things and, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's, and the same thing with Nigel Farage. It's the first thing, he did. He came out today, Nigel Farage. I guess I should play some of that LBC stuff here that I got, but he came out and said, oh, not us. Oh, who, me? Who? No. I've never ever advocated violence. Never once have I ever said, get out there and
warning, obviously.
Hurt people.
I was supposed to start my series on Nigel Farage and the questions that he needs to answer regarding Russia. But Britain appears to be in the midst of a widespread race riot. It's happening in so many towns and has happened in so many towns that it's almost impossible to keep up with it. As you'll know, it started with Southport, and since then it's spread out to Manchester, to Liverpool, to Middlesbrough, to Hull, with most of the councils saying that the people that are committing these crimes are not from the local area, that they're being bussed in, and that a lot of it is being coordinated online and orchestrated via social media. And we all know who's orchestrating it and ramping up the rhetoric, don't we? Now, I've been trying to keep up with it as much as I can, but I have to admit that what I have seen has been some of the most shocking displays of overt racism that I think that I've ever seen in my life. En masse. Racism. There are essentially lynch mobs going after anyone that does not look white. I've seen a lone man get attacked by a mob and have the P word thrown at him. I've seen what appears to be like a Southeast Asian woman and a man kicked in the head. What appears to be a British Asian man pulled out of his car. Nobody knows if the reports that he was stabbed were actually accurate. There was the attack in Manchester on a lone black man. These are lynchings. But one of the most shocking things that I saw today in video form, well, actually there's two. The first one was in Middlesbrough, where a group of little fucking scumbags trying to stop the flow of traffic according to the race of the drivers.
Listen, they're setting up checkpoints. Man, they're getting way ahead of themselves, guys. You don't do the ghettoization checkpoints until you've kind of established yourself in government. You had 14 years, guys. They're so bored. They're so bored. They hate brown people so much, right? They see a brown guy driving a car, and it's the race riot, so we get to do this, right? We could do this. They're so pathetic. Arrest every single fucking one of these criminals. You know what I mean? If this is not behavior that the left even, we don't do this shit. This is insane.
English. Big Jake,
English,
big Jakey boy.
Then you can come through.
Are you white? Are you white? That's mental.
And then, of course, there's what's happening still in Rotherham. And much of it is being live streamed on TikTok. And the people that are live streaming it and joining in are getting gifts and rewards for live streaming widespread civil disorder. In Rotherham, the mob decided to descend upon a holiday.
Them promoting unreality is just, it's a constant, right? I mean, this is part of the MAGA template. This is part of, that fascist template where you never admit fault. And we saw, we saw this with Boris Johnson, right? Where it was like, no, I'm never wrong. All the things that you have proof against me, it's a lie. It's manufactured. If it was true, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. The whole liar's poem, all that. It's you can never accept it, and everything has to have its own narrative. In fact, it's interesting when you see breaking news, you'll see the right-wing apparatus all of a sudden be really quiet because they need to coalesce around a narrative before repeating it over and over and over again. It looks like all this stuff is really blooming in the UK, and you have to watch out for it. You have to be very, very diligent. I do worry, though, like I said, about Keir Starmer justifying all this, rightfully so. I mean, this is thuggery. This is, wanton violence. It's racism. It's disgusting hatred. But all too easily, the left can be painted as such, right? It'll be interesting to see if there's a pro-Palestinian protest in the next, 2 to 3 weeks. The kind of crackdown. Because, police are not savvy. Police are not, they have kind of one mode, on how they handle things. But maybe that's not the case with UK police. I've shown many examples of UK police being much more professional than US police. So maybe they do have the capabilities of differentiating between legitimate protest and right-wing thuggery moving forward. I worry though, because like in the US, there's only one direction the police go in. They ratchet forward, authoritarian and violence towards protest. And then they reach a new plateau, and then it never goes back down. The kettling techniques, the water, the rubber bullets, the pepper bullets, all those techniques are busted out every time. It's not like we start at level. It's not like, Grand Theft Auto, where we start at 1 star, or, we just use the local cops, and then, and then by the time we're like 4 stars, the SWAT team are here. No, it's like any protest, it's 5 stars. It's like that's how we operate. That's just standard operating procedure now. All the techniques, the kettling, like I said, but the curfews, all that stuff. It never goes backwards, and they never, like I said, they don't. I mean, sometimes with small protests, right, it doesn't go full blown horses and tear gas and everything, and it dissipates in a couple hours, and then everyone goes home and whatever, right? That's the protest that the cops prefer. But if you're there for like George Floyd, if you're there for the long haul, like I said, the cops in the U.S., they only know one mode, and it escalated decades ago, but it's reached this plateau, and that's once they kick that mode in, that's the bullets come out, the tear gas comes out, the kettling techniques, the curfew, mass arrests, etc., etc., etc. All of it happens, and it's like, is that what's going to happen here? Is that the Keir Starmer's going to use this as a rightful justification to ratchet up aggression against protesting, and then the next legitimate protest? Oh, what do you mean it's legitimate? Yes, it's legitimate. It's nonviolent leftist legitimate protest against human rights disasters across the world that the UK is still funding, but thankfully they're pulling back from that. Anyway, I'm ranting, but you get what I'm saying. I'm worried that this is going to ratchet up, and then it'll be irreversible.
A day in a hotel where asylum seekers are being housed. They set fire to it. I don't know who the person is that recorded this footage, but she decides to go on a little rant at the beginning of the recording. Look at this.
We just want the boats to stop. This hotel is full of immigrants. Britain isn't British anymore.
Yeah.
Because we're letting too many people in on boats.
Great replacement.
His NHS is at breaking point already. And just letting people in as country.
A lot of these migrants are working at the NHS, by the way. It's hilarious. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. If she sounds northern, yeah. If it were up to them, they would kick out, all the brown people in the NHS. And yeah, no, if the problem would the problem would get a little bit worse. It would get a little worse. The great, huh? What makes you so great, man? Give me one factoid about yourself that makes you the great.
And not doing out about them. We're housing them. We're giving them money. We're giving them phones. We're giving them a warm place to stay with.
Yeah, I know, off-world. It's ridiculous.
For anybody that thinks that I'm racist, I'm not. I ain't got a problem. I ain't got a problem with doctors.
I ain't got a problem with the good ones.
I ain't got a problem with people that work and earn a living. That are British citizens.
Yeah,
it's the
it's
people
a template.
on the boats.
It's a
that
template.
come and take
And look, there's a Russian connection here. There's a foreign entity encouraging, because that's all it needs to do, right? A foreign entity gets on social media. UK's not British anymore. Britain isn't British anymore, and just repeat the MAGA template. And it works wonders to create to create chaos, to create separation, to further divide and conquer, right? Doesn't have to be true, doesn't matter.
Take. Our children are not safe.
So it doesn't sound like Sanu the Great is that great. I ask you for an example of why you're so great, and you just bitch and moan. Is that what you're so great at? Whining? Good job, bro.
Stop the boats, really. Repeating a Tory campaign slogan at a race riot, which shows you who is in large part culpable for this. I mean, obviously, all the National Front, EDL, Britain First, whatever they want to call themselves, neo-Nazis, racists, they're exactly the kind of people that the Tory party were trying to appeal to when they were trying to win the election. Asylum seekers were only housed in hotels because the Tories refused to process their claims. Why did they refuse to process their claims? Because that would have shown that they had the right to remain here. It would have made the Tories look tolerant, and they couldn't have that, could they? They were adopting the policy of Farage, who then himself capitalised on this, with the help of Putin's troll farms, who spread conspiracy theories about the Great Replacement theory. They prop up GB News, they spread Islamophobia, and they all support reform. I am going to record my videos about Farage, but at the moment I'm aghast watching the footage that's coming in from multiple places across the country. But what that woman was saying was rhetoric that was pushed to the masses by the government.
So you get the point there. UK riots, we've covered it for a little over an hour. I got to get going, unfortunately. No. Okay. Well, we're gonna close up the stream right now. It's okay. I've been meaning to shut it down. I was gonna shut it down when my wife got home anyway. So no biggie. But yeah, just wanted to cover the UK riots. Thank you everybody for coming in. I do appreciate it. Female eunuchs, woke patriot, off-world colonist, chem goblin, Ice King of Space. Over there in Kakistan, Evan is God. Oof. I hate these God, like I'm God, I'm great. I'm just not a fan. Arbitoire, ribbons, but no, I'm a fan of you over there in Kakistan, Evan. You're awesome. But no, thank you everybody for stopping in. Carl Toes, Sovereign Dari, thank you everybody. The Terry, Woke Patriot, you're the bomb, Woke Patriot, thank you so much. Peace in that motherfucking Middle East, folks, and we'll see you again soon.